Welcome to JA Biztown. Unit 1 is about financial literacy. Let's start learning. In Lesson 1, we're going to learn about the financial services that are available in our community. Have you ever wished that you could buy things and pay bills like an adult, that you could work and earn money? Would you like to own a business? Maybe run a bank? Well, guess what? You're going to have that opportunity at JA Biztown. It's an exciting place where you can go as a class and experience what it's like to earn, save, and spend money, just like adults do. We're going to be visiting there very soon.
Can you imagine a place where kids get to be in charge? Be the boss. Make all the decisions. Do things adults get to do. What would it be like if you could get a paycheck and go shopping with money from your own bank account? Or be able to vote, donate to worthy causes, and make the community a great place for others to work and get along? Well, there is such a place. Welcome to JA Biztown. It's a place where kids actually run the town and get to do the real-world things adults usually do. Your teacher has signed your class up for the JA Biztown learning experience. For the next few weeks in class, you will have fun learning the skills and information you need to know when you get to JA Biztown. You will learn how to manage money responsibly, contribute to a community, interview for a job, work in a business, make business decisions, and run a quality business. To be a successful citizen in JA Biztown, you will want to know about your rights and responsibilities as a citizen. And of course, you will need critical thinking and problem-solving skills to help you make those adult decisions. JA Biztown was created by Junior Achievement to help kids prepare for the real world. JA Biztown may look a lot like your own community with businesses you know. But this time, you are the ones doing the real work. You might get to run the bank, sell things in stores, pay business bills, work in the radio or TV station, serve food in a restaurant, and even build things. Or act as mayor and get informed about important issues in the community. Then, use your voice to vote. It's your right. If you have ever wondered how adults learn how to be adults, get the skills they need for their lives, and why it's important to learn all the subjects you have in school, you will find out in this exciting true-to-life mini-town. We want to see all students become successful in their lives, and JA Biztown is a great place to start. We hope to see you soon at JA Biztown.
Look at all of that money. What would you do with it if it was yours? Would you spend it? Would you save it? Where would you put it to keep it safe? Ask your teacher to pause the video and discuss this with an elbow partner and then share with the class. When you were talking about what to do with that money to keep it safe, did some of you say you put it in a bank? Well, that's one way that financial institutions can help you with your money. A bank is a financial institution. And we're going to talk about how these businesses can help you save and spend your money. You may think that there's nothing much going on in your town, but there are things going on that you can't see with your eyes. The economy is always working. And we're going to talk about the economy, what that word means, and how it is working in your community. Look at the three terms presented here: economy, financial institutions, and bank. Think to yourself what these words may mean before we go over them. A simple definition for economy is how a country makes and manages their goods, services, and their money. Financial institutions are businesses that provide money-related services. Some examples of these types of businesses are credit unions, banks, or a savings and loan. One of those financial institutions is a bank. A bank is a business, and they charge customers for money-related services. For example, if you have a checking account at a bank, there's a small service fee that you pay the bank in order to use that service. There are three more terms that we should know the definitions for before we move on. Those terms are credit union, civics, and loan. A credit union is a financial institution much like a bank. It provides a lot of the same services that a bank does. The difference is that a credit union is owned by its members. The next word is loan. A loan means that you have borrowed money. That could be a personal loan from your dad or an actual loan from a bank. Usually, when you repay money that you have borrowed, you have to pay interest. Our last word is civics. Civics is the study of governments, public processes, and the rights and duties of citizenship. This year in social studies, we're going to learn a lot about different governments in different countries other than the United States. But in JA Biztown, we're going to concentrate on the U.S. government. We'll learn more about the rights that you have as a citizen and the duties that you also have as a citizen. Town map. Notice all of the different buildings that are part of JA Biztown. Also notice that the bank is in the middle of the town. This is for convenience, but it's also because it is the center of a town's economy. Now let's talk a little bit about some of those rights that you have as a citizen. One of those is a right to own private property. Turn to page 1 in your J.A. Biztown Citizen Guide as we go over this important concept. In J.A. Biztown's economy, you have a right to private property. Private property includes money. But the people of J.A. Biztown can't walk around with all of their money all of the time. So what do? Where do they keep it? How do they manage it? Along with the right to own property, like money, the people of J.A. Biztown have a responsibility to make wise choices about managing their money. Most citizens choose to put their money in a financial institution. As a citizen of the United States, we all have the right to own property, and that property includes money. Money is private property. Because you personally own it, it is private, not public property. It is your responsibility to make wise choices about managing your money. The U.S. government protects our private property. There are rules and laws that protect private property, including money. Everyone is equally protected, so we all have the freedom to earn and spend money and own property. Your money is yours. It belongs to you and is considered your private property. Private property is property, including money, in private hands. Our government protects our property with rules and laws. Everyone is equally protected by the law. It has been part of the foundation of our government from the very beginning. The Declaration of Independence, which was written to separate the American colonies from England, states that all men are created equal and have equal rights. One job of the government is to equally protect everyone's rights. Look at this quote from the Declaration of Independence. I'm going to read this aloud. I would like for you to read along with me. You can either look at the presentation or it is on page 1 of your Citizen's Guide. Now let's all read this together. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. The founders of our nation wrote the Declaration of Independence. They chose the words life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. One other choice that was considered was life, liberty, and property. The right to own property, including your own person, possessions, wealth, thoughts, and opinions, was considered part of a person's natural or unalienable rights. What do you think that the founders meant by life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness? I think they meant that we are all equal. We should be treated equally. We all have rights. Because we all have equal rights, we can all make and spend money, own property, and have the freedom to create a business. Teachers, this next activity is optional. If you prefer not to do this activity, please fast forward to the next section. Those of you who are still with us, turn to page 2 in your J.A. Biztown Citizen's Guide. On page 2 of your Citizen's Guide, you should see a table. You're going to work with your elbow partner to fill in that table. I'm going to put up some financial institutions and advertisements that they use to try to attract customers. You're going to read that advertisement and try to figure out what services that financial institution provides. You're going to fill in the chart with those services. Teachers, pause the video so the students can have access to the advertisements. Give the students about 4 to 5 minutes to complete the activity. I hope you had time to finish the assignment. If not, I hope you at least got some of them done. Let's look at the first one together. Star Savings and Loans. The advertisement says, "We'll help you nail down the right home loan solution because borrowing money can be confusing. How much money can you get? What will your monthly payments be? We offer many ways to help you. Come in and talk to a lending specialist. We can simplify things for you. Our home equity loans, as low as 3.87%, have no annual fees." Did you see what I saw in that advertisement? Right off the bat, it mentions that they are good for home loans and they can provide you with a solution for a home loan. So we know that is one service they provide. Another thing that they said is that they have no annual fees. Did you write that on your paper? If you didn't get those exact terms, that's okay. If you put something different and you need to change it, go ahead and do that. If not, let's move on to the next advertisement. This institution is called Hometown Credit Union. Its advertisement says, "Are you tired of stuffy banks that feature velvet ropes and lines? No velvet ropes here. Stop in for a cup of coffee and a little conversation. With a smile, we'll help you with all of your financial needs. Ask about our checking or savings accounts and our competitive interest rates. We are local people who understand the needs of our local members." For Hometown Credit Union, you should have seen that they offer both checking and savings accounts. Now check the rest of your answers and make corrections as needed. You might be saying to yourself, why do I need to know all of this stuff? Why do I need to know what a financial institution is? Well, let's look at that. Why should we go to a bank? People use financial institutions to manage their spending and savings. They also borrow money from these institutions. Most people don't have the money to outright pay for a house, so they have to get a loan or a mortgage for that house. And financial institutions are where they go to get those loans. Now let's look at some banking services. We're going to try to pick the correct arrow that shows the way that the service goes from what to what, or from what to whom. Let's look at A first. Becky made a deposit into her checking account. Well, Becky is a citizen and she is making a deposit into her checking account, which would be at the bank. So the transaction is going from Becky to the bank. Which arrow would represent that transaction? Yes, you're right. Arrow 3. Now let's look at B. The J.A. Biztown newspaper made the last payment on its startup loan. So the newspaper would be a business, and it is paying back a loan that it probably got from the bank. So the transaction is going from the business to the bank. Which arrow would represent that transaction? Right again, number 4. Let's look at C. Carmen took money out of her savings account to buy a new computer. Okay, so Carmen is a citizen, and she is taking money out of her savings account to buy a new computer. Now, which way is that money going? It is coming from the bank to Carmen. So, which arrow would represent that? That's right, arrow number. You are so smart. You got all 3 correct. A, arrow 3, B, arrow 4, and C, arrow 1 is showing that money going from the savings account at the bank to Carmen, who is a citizen. Now that we've talked about why banks and other financial institutions are important, let's open a bank account of our own. Turn to page 3 in your J.A. Biztown Citizens Guide. On page 3, you should see a bank account application that looks like this. You're going to fill that out. You're going to select checking account. That's the type of account that you want to apply to have. Fill in your full name. That means your last name also, your address and phone number. You may use the school address and phone number if you would like. Your teacher will post that on the board for you. At the bottom, you need to sign your name. You need to bring proof of identity whenever Some of you might be thinking, I can't sign my signature. I don't know how to write in cursive. That's all right. Traditionally, signatures are written in cursive because that is clearly representing you and your identity. If you can't write in cursive, do the best that you can, but you can always practice writing your signature. You can use the template on the screen if you would like and try to write your name as a signature in cursive. When you finish filling out your bank application, bring that to your teacher. He or she will approve it for you. They will also be your proof of identity. Congratulations, you now have a bank account at JA Biztown. We're going to learn what we can do with that account as we continue in our lessons. And we're going to practice writing checks using that bank account. Let's look at some key takeaways and see if you remember what we've discussed. If you think the statement is true, give me a thumbs up. If you think that the statement is false, give me a thumbs down. All right, here's our first one. People have a right to own property. Private property includes their money. That's right. That is true. People do have a right to own property, and that property is theirs. It's private. It is not public. What about this one? Because your money is your responsibility, it's important to make wise choices about where to keep your money. That's right. Thumbs up. People always keep their private property in banks. Do you think that's true or false? That's right. It's a thumbs down. That is not true. Although it's a good idea to keep your money, your private property, in a bank for safety, some people don't do that. Some people hide it under their mattress or they bury it in the backyard. And after years, they forget where they buried it. Not the wisest thing to do. Okay, here's our last one. Financial institutions are the center of JA Biztown's economy. Do you think that's a thumbs up or a thumbs down? Yes, that's a thumbs up, just like on our map of JA Biztown. The bank was in the center of the town because it is the center of the economy. Congratulations, you completed the first lesson in JA Biztown. There will be many more to come, and you're going to learn so many fun things, all leading up to our field trip to JA Biztown.